I love what's happening in Buffalo. Talk about a game that we're going to look back and be like, what the fuck happened there?
Week 1?
The week 1 shit.
Yeah.
Which, shout out, Steelers on the money line. I just love that. However, this is, if you want to be taken serious, if you want to be a contender, this is what you do. You stomp a mud hole, to quote the great Stone Cold Steve Austin, in people's asses.
Yep.
Did that to Miami. Did that to Washington yesterday. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's the Josh Allen that everyone was saying, MVP, breakouts, even, double down on that breakout season. What do you have, like 360 yards?
I think he had 5 total touchdowns.
Bro. Cole Beasley?
Yeah.
Not terrible.
No comment.
No comment. Big game for him, man. 11 catches, 98 yards. Emmanuel Sanders went going. Like, yo, Buffalo is – that's a mark to me of a good team, man.
Yeah.
And look, Washington's defense, overrated?
The defensive line definitely, I can't put my finger on it. Some of the people that I respect, what they're saying is this may sound crazy. Their stamina is not the greatest. They'll play well early in the game, and then they'll kind of fall apart towards the end. Is that a product of the offense not controlling the ball long enough, and your defense is just exhausted? So those are some of the things that I'm reading in terms of Washington. But yeah, Cole Beasley, 11 snags. Emmanuel Sanders, 2 touchdowns. Moss getting it done as well. Every week it's someone different. So just, kudos to the Bills, man. Brian Dable will be a head coach real soon.
So last year, Washington's defense, they beat Dalton twice, a young Jalen Hurts for a quarter, and then they brought in Sudfeld. Remember, Giants Twitter was going crazy.
They wanted to lose the game on purpose.
They wanted to lose the game to keep the Giants out, which, by the way, Giants, be better. Let's not win 6 games and get excited about. They beat the Niners without Jimmy G. They beat Big Ben, which at the last 4 games of the year, you're like, yo, Big Ben has fallen off a cliff.
Yeah.
So they're not exactly beating Mahomes and Lamar. They really are living off that one game they had in the playoffs against Brady and the Bucks, where they kept them in check. And it was not kept them in check. That's the wrong term, but it was a closer game.
To the team that won.
And then Taylor Heineke. So, I don't know, man. Buffalo's defense is getting, Daniel Jones lit them up. Josh Allen lit them up. Would you expect Josh Allen to do that? But, it seems like, I feel like it's safe to say you can maybe eliminate Washington from...
Cross them off the list?
Yeah. I don't know if that's a hot take, but your one win is against the Giants, where the Giants should have won that game.
Yeah.
The Giants should not be a winless team. We'll get to them in a second. But, dude, you're, just... I don't know. I don't know what it is about Washington, but I just love what Buffalo's doing. Good teams win, great teams cover, and they're covering, comfortably. You're cashing in that ticket at halftime. Yo, I'm good. I
think a lot of the good teams, you think about the Packers, think about the Bills, they didn't play their starters much in the preseason.
Right.
I forget who said it, but they were basically saying, in a roundabout way, the first couple weeks of the NFL season are kind of like preseason, especially if you're a team that you have Super Bowl aspirations, playoff aspirations. You're not going to risk any of these main guys, So this is all just and to the Bills' point, they dealt with some vaccine COVID issues in the preseason with Beasley and McKenzie, and so putting it together, and that AFC East is potentially not as strong as people thought. Mm-hmm. So this could really be a cakewalk to the division as well, with the Patriots losing yesterday as well, and we'll see.
Do you think that the NFL is faster than Justin Fields thought after his comments in the preseason?
I have so much to say.
Holla
just
at me,
a lot
bro.
of stats.
You came in, you're like, yo, I got stats.
I have a stat of the day.
Holla at me.
Justin Tucker's field goal, which I feel bad saying it, but we'll cover that too.
Yeah.
Justin Tucker's field goal was 19 yards longer than the Bears' offense gained yesterday.
Damn. I know Cleveland's defense is good, but...
Dan Orlovsky, who I like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love ESPN. I like Dan Orlovsky. He said Matt Nagy's game plan was the worst he's ever seen in his entire life. He played on the 0-16 Lions.
Right. So here's the thing. what I realized was it reminded me a lot of when Lamar Jackson stepped in for Joe Flacco. And yeah, the Ravens won with Lamar, but they had that offense built. You've said this a lot in the past too, where Lamar didn't have his offense catered to him.
Yep.
It looked like they were trying to run that Andy Dalton shit with Justin Fields. And, like, dude is just not ready.
And that's not who he is.
And that's not who he is also. So stop. Look, I get you want to protect young quarterbacks, and maybe we don't need to see guys early. If you look at, the rookie quarterbacks this year are 1-10 straight up and against the spread. The only win is Mac Jones
against another rookie,
Zach Wilson.
Yep.
So maybe, and these dudes have looked bad. Like, who's been the best rookie quarterback, would you say?
The first couple, I'd probably say it was probably Mac Jones the first couple weeks, but that's because they didn't ask him to do anything.
Right.
It was ground and pound, play action, couple, it's been Mac Jones, a couple picks yesterday, but yeah, I would say Mac, but they didn't ask him to do much.
And he's not really lighting it up like Herbert and Burrow were doing last year. So it's like, yeah, it's Mac Jones, but you know what I mean? Yeah. So I just didn't understand that with the Bears. And dude, Matt Nagy was a guy I was like, I don't want people to get fired. I think that's a dick move to have that. But I'm also a degenerate and I like betting it.
First coach fired?
First coach fired. That had all the makings of a dude. And the logic for me was, he's going to go into the season with Dalton, and Dalton is just going to shit the bed, and they're going to be like 1-4, and he's still going to be going to Dalton. It's going to be like, dude, you got to get out. Yeah. They got like a week 8, week 9 bye week 2. But I just think Cleveland, another thing, they got Odell back, had some catches. It was nice to see him out there too. Nick Chubb just feels like he just always gets 80 yards.
Sorry, I just wanted to say the Nagy thing, he has that Bears offense has 575 yards in 3 games. That's the worst in the NFL. That's the least amount in the NFL by I'm looking at this. Look, Chicago 3 games, 575 yards. The next team is the Saints, 702 yards. Mm-hmm. The Jets' offense has been garbage. 750 yards in 3 games. That helps put it into perspective a little bit.
Yo, so what's up? You're Mr. Matt Nagy, man, offensive guru. Quiet now, huh?
It's tough. It's hard to defend it. You can make the argument that in some of those other years, maybe they overachieved, maybe they underachieved. You don't really know, right?
Yeah.
The defense was good. Did he get out a lot of Trubisky? Did he not? But the video of you see Nick Foles on the sideline. Did you see it?
Yeah.
He's like I think he goes something along the lines of this offense just isn't working. Nick Foles says it to Dalton on the sideline. So
yeah, because they're running offense that you two should be running.
It's tough, man.
You're right. You got an athlete in there. Maybe that's why it's not working.
Yeah.
I don't think that was a slight to Justin Fields. That could have been a coaching slight.
No, that's what I'm saying. It was. It's tough because Matt Nagy he's coaching for his job.
Right.
And when you're trying to develop a quarterback, I feel like those two things, the line gets blurred a little bit. In the back of his head, he's like, does Dalton give me the best chance to win? Does Fields give me the best chance to win? I don't know, but this is a rookie quarterback. If I play him, can I bench him? Like, can I play him and then put him back on the bench? There's just so many of those types of things that you have to think about, which makes it tough.
He's in that, like, weird NBA GM position when a dude knows he's on the hot seat. He's like, yo, you know what? I can get Blake Griffin and give up 3 first-round picks or some shit. Bring in Blake, excite the fan base a little bit. Like, that's what happened with him on the Pistons, right?
Yeah.
And the dude gets fired. And then I come in as the new GM. I'm like, I got this wild-ass contract in Blake. I got no future assets. Fuck, man. What am I doing here?
I want to say one more thing about that, and it's the idea of, personally, I think he was hoping to, because Andy Dalton, say what you want about him, he's a high floor guy. He may not lose you a whole bunch of games. He may not win you a whole bunch of games.
How high in this building is this floor?
I'm not sure.
Second floor?
But what I'm trying to say is he may not lose you games. It'll be vanilla. It'll be generic. But if you take care of the ball and your defense plays well, you maybe get a special teams play here or there, he can not lose you the game. Part of me feels like he was trying to kind of keep the ship afloat for a couple of weeks with Dalton. Like, fuck, we're not going to make the playoffs. All right, Fields. And then maybe Fields has some success later in the season, and then he gets to keep his job because he was the one, he had Justin Fields playing well, right? Mm. Now if it's it kind of looks dysfunctional, now he has no chance to keep that job. So I kind of think it was a strategic decision by Nagy to not play Fields so that he knew they weren't going to be that great anyway. So it's like, let's just wait, hold out as long as possible, hopefully show some signs so that I can get an extension, which is not the way you're supposed to coach a team.
Right. But, yo, you know what's so weird, dude? Imagine if the Chargers medical staff never punctured Tyrod's lung. We probably don't see Herbert until later. Like, eventually you were going to see Herbert. But it's such a slippery slope because say the Chargers medical staff don't do that, right? And you get Tyrod until week 8, and then they decide to go to Herbert, and he just lights it up. What's going to be the narrative? How the hell did this guy not play all year?
Yeah.
But then when you play him early and he's struggling, it's like, how the hell did you play him so early?
I'll say one thing, though. The idea, the component that you just mentioned in terms of how did you not play him, I feel like sitting a quarterback, if you sit a quarterback and he plays really well, you can say he played well because he sat. I hear what you're saying, though, but it's tough to kind of... It's tough.
It kind of feels like a lose-lose regardless, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, man, that's so funky.
So,
what do you think of Cleveland as we wrap up that? They kind of just did what they had to do, right? Baker didn't do too much.
Punch you in the face on the ground, man.
Baker Mayfield, 27 to 35 pass attempts is like a sweet spot for him.
Yeah.
If he got to go out there and sling it 50 times, I don't know if you want that.
Look, dude, he made one bad throw against the Chiefs, and it was the pick. And it wasn't even a bad throw. He just... he tripped up or whatever. He got tripped, and the ball didn't make it to his receiver. Like, the big thing is, like, what does Baker's extension look like? Because he's gonna get a deal.
Yeah.
Is it?
If you're Cleveland, you're gonna pay him because at least now you're going into a season and you're like, oh, you know what, we got Baker. That's cool.
Yeah.
You don't gotta that jersey would have like 27, 26 names until Baker got there. Yeah. Bro,
I think his contract will sit somewhere in between. The problem is another thing is like Lamar Jackson hasn't signed his deal yet either. So the only thing that they could really go off of is Josh Allen's, and I guess the most recent one other than Josh Allen was Mahomes, but they're not going to get Mahomes money.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the issues. And Lamar doesn't have an agent, which is the next game that we're going to talk about too.
The new Legatron,
Justin Tucker.
Yo, I was. Where do you think he ranks?
As a kicker?
Yeah.
He's got to be one of the greatest, right? In terms of, like, I mean, Vinatieri has, like, the most iconic types of kicks.
I like this.
But gun to my head, hit a 50, I'm taking Justin Tucker.
Bro, he is just... That was so wild.
I swear to you, when they were lining up to kick the ball, I said to myself, for some reason, I feel like he's going to hit this. And the only reason I thought so was because it was indoors.
Yo, you remember a couple of years ago on Monday Night Football when Flacco was the quarterback? He had a 6 field goal game against the Lions. And at the press conference, he's like, I'd like to thank my fantasy team and shit like that because he had himself on fantasy. And then they made him the next day at Baltimore be like, hey, I take that back, man. It was a team effort because he got so hyped. Because he had hit like a 60-yarder too. Dude hits bombs, bro. And you know what's funny? You always see those graphics that'll be like, oh, he hit a 53-yard field goal, but it was good from 62. It's like, that was only good from 66. Like
only.
I know, right? Legit broke the record. You think that gets broken? I don't think anyone could break that.
I mean, dude, I would say records are... I hate to use the cliche term that records are meant to be broken, but I think players are evolving, bro. Athletes are getting stronger. They're getting faster. They're getting more flexible. Like...
Bro, he hit that from the other 44.
I know, but...
That's wild. That's a bomb, son.
It's tough.
Yo, there's quarterbacks that can't throw 66 yards. Dude hit a field goal.
Yeah. I don't know what to say, man. 66, a bomb, to your point. A lot of Raven teasers got crushed yesterday.
Well, a lot of Ravens teasers hit because of that.
Or if they had them on the money line. You could have had them on -2, and you were cooked.
Yeah.
So,
dude, Detroit, though, man. Like, 4th and 20, and you let them convert that?
0-3, I feel great if I'm a Lion fan. Call me crazy.
Yo, I said the same thing, dude. We did a segment on upsets and underdogs where we had to pick the best 0-3 team. And I was like, yo, I kind of like Detroit of the bunch. They're scrappy. They're at least competitive. They got some pieces that I like. Hawkinson, Swift. You know, they're getting after. They kind of shut down the Ravens there.
And Goff is better than people. I think Goff is proving people wrong. That, like, okay, he's not as good as Stafford, but he's not as bad as
we're making him out to be.
Yes. Without a doubt. And yeah, 0-3. The first half of that Packers game, they were pretty much, I think they had the lead in the first half.
They were either tied or it was like you thought that maybe they could pull an upset.
Yeah.
And then it started raining and then Goff has like small hands.
Yes.
So when it rains, you know, I got that problem too, where when I grip a football, you know, I'm a dome quarterback when I play, right? Like I need
Oh yeah, because those exist for touch football.
Yeah. But when I play touch football, over 70 degrees, watch out. Under 50, might be up in the air.
To your point, bro, play hard. Dan Campbell, great group there. You have to be like, even though you're 0-3, you gotta feel good about it, and even if it's just one of those things where the Ravens, 2 close games as well. What could their record be if they don't pull those out? Their skill guys, Hollywood Brown dropped a couple. His Lamar needs help, man. Like, you can't do it with just Mark Andrews and Lamar's legs, bro. Like, he needs some help, and so I don't know. Unreal kick and one that I felt like he was gonna hit regardless. I'm not just saying that.
Titans Colts 0-3. Titans 2-1 now. I think of all the games on the slate, this was the one that anytime red zone it would cut to, I was like, oh my God, can we switch off? Just didn't do it for me, man. Carson Wentz, I think I'm officially off.
Yeah. I think it's just...
Some would say that it took long enough. It's about time. Because I was holding on to Carson Wentz stock. Like, like when wrestlers are in a sharpshooter and they're reaching for that bottom rope? They're like, oh, almost there. That was me with Carson Wentz stock. I just plagued by injury.
Yeah.
He looks like damaged goods. And it just seems as if there's no coming back from that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Do you think it was something that happened in Philly?
Dude, I'll never forget that one time you came in here before we started recording and then you mentioned it on the pod. You're like, yo, did you know that there's a statue of Nick Foles outside the stadium? I was like, yeah. He's like, yo, you don't think that's a problem for Carson Wentz?
That sucks.
That might be a mental thing where he's just like fraud.
And part of me also feels like the shit bags that he was playing with in Philly towards the end, shitty offensive line, no weapons. Part of me feels like maybe it like polluted him in a way to the point where like, because when you watch Wentz, it's clear that he holds onto the ball for a little too long. It's clear that he tries to do too much. And I wonder if that's like subconscious from him dealing with crap in Philly, like really trying to make too much happen. Because that year he did well, and the year he did well, that MVP, air quotes, he wasn't doing much, right? He was just like, the offense wasn't well built out. He was just kind of making the simple play, rushing the ball here and there. But it just feels like now he just tries to do too much. And when you don't have that much around you, it's tough. So I'm worried about that. The offensive line hasn't been great either, which was supposed to be a Colts strength.
New rule. If you're a starting quarterback, you get hurt, your backup wins the Super Bowl, sell your house.
Sucks to say, man.
You gotta dip.
Yeah.
Unless, God forbid, Mahomes goes down, where like you're clearly the man and you've won there, that's an exception. But if you're anybody else, like, yo, bro, it's quiet for you. You gotta get out.
The tough thing about that is like, you'd be like, oh, Wentz, he almost won an MVP. That's clearly his team. We all know that.
Yeah.
Gets the contract.
Right. I'm being funny and serious in the same way. Like, yo, especially when they build a statue for the dude, you're like, yo.
You're on the money there.
Hey, Titans. I don't know if I could get behind them because I feel like their defense is just sus.
Yes. It's tough. It's
offensively, I mean, it's hard to not like their guys. And I know A.J. Brown went down. It's not supposed to be anything too severe. Maybe missed this week. But, when they can run the ball, again, Derrick Henry is just going to continue to smash all narratives of running backs with 370 touches, back-to-back years. It's like, dude, we got to start making exceptions for, like, guys that are just freak athletes, right? LeBron could play 20 years at this level. Derrick Henry is not your average running back. Dude is a behemoth.
353 yards through 3 weeks. Everyone was going to...
And he started off slow week one. It was like a dud.
I feel like people were saying, oh, is this the year Derrick Henry falls off a cliff? Not the case.
I've been saying it for 3 years, hoping that one of them might be right.
One of them it is. What I was impressed with was, I don't know if impressed is the word, but 31 touches this week, 41 last week, overtime game last, right? Like, just you'd think like maybe this is the week. Maybe, no, well, you don't want to know why. Nick Westbrook Ikini, I don't even know the guy's name. No disrespect. 4 receptions. Julio 3 receptions. Derrick Henry tied for second in receptions on that team. Like, to your point, the receivers went down. Gutsy win, man. Tough win. Are they the team to beat in that division? You don't feel good about it.
Dude, look at the other 2 teams in the division. Houston and Jacksonville. Like, they might... I don't think they're good. Though the Seattle win was impressive. Going in there and also coming back. It was like 30-16 and you came back and won.
Yes.
That's very impressive. However, this division might be like the NFC East last year. Where the Titans are going to win with like 8 wins.
9-8.
Yeah, 8-9, 9-8. And it's like, all right, cool. You're going to host a home game.
Yeah.
But you're probably going to be an underdog to Chargers or Chiefs or Raiders, whoever happens to be that first wildcard team. Speaking of which, you saw my boy yesterday?
Kyler?
Nah, my boy.
Who?
Kyler was my boy last year.
Justin Herbert, ball sack by the coach.
Dude.
You know what's crazy? I was talking to my roommate Matty B this morning, and
Shouts to Matt, always showing love. That's my guy too.
He was saying, how, that was a little risky. Why didn't they kick the field goal? I was like, you got to beat the Chiefs. You have to out balls them. Like,
Staley just like rested him on the table. He's like, this is what we're dealing with.
He said,
today.
look, bro, I know what we're going up against here. I don't want to give this guy too much time. I don't even want to give him the ball back.
Yeah.
And they still gave him the ball back.
Yeah.
But throwing the ball, stopping the clock, like that was a perfect game. And it sounds so cliche and cheesy, but it's like that was a perfect example of them winning the game.
Took
and that sound, yeah.
But I know what you mean. They didn't go in
shit.
there like conservative and like, let's kick the field goal, handoffs to Eckler. Herbert changed the play at the line because he saw one-on-one with Mike Williams. And Mike Williams is having an unbelievable season so far. 7 for 122 and 2 touchdowns. The biggest X factor with Mike Williams, contract year. My guy wants to get paid, so he's balling out. Also, he's now with a quarterback that fits his skill set, right? He's a guy who
down the field,
jump ball situations. Phillip Rivers couldn't do that. Couldn't really do that. That's why Keenan, if you look at Keenan Allen in games that he starts and finishes with Herbert, the floor is like 9 targets. Or 9 catches. Like, dude is just getting peppered with targets. I don't understand how in the world does everybody know on third down the ball's going to Keenan Allen and people just can't stop it.
Yeah.
Fourth down, just going to Keenan. Like, It's just so crazy. But going back to the ballsy thing, apparently Justin Herbert audibled from a run to Mike Williams.
Nice.
Go in there. They win that. Then they missed the extra point. That kicker, man. Chargers. Can you get... Tampa Bay finally found a kicker. Can the Chargers find a kicker?
I need you.
Bro, what's up?
Just extra points.
I'd never miss an extra point.
Well, now the new extra point?
Come on, bro.
Nice.
You shouldn't miss under 40.
That's the...
Under 40, shouts to my coach Tanowski. He used to be like, I'll fuck you up if you miss under 40.
No, that's legit.
If you miss a 55-yard field goal, yeah, man, that's a shot. But, like, you can't be missing extra points.
Extra points are 35, right?
33.
33.
Come on, dude.
Chiefs currently have a losing record for the first time since Week 10, 2015.
Bro, do you think they listen to the podcast, the NFL?
Why?
When I was like, the way to beat the Chiefs, stopping Kelsey and Tyreek. Ravens stopped Tyreek last week.
Yeah.
Chargers yesterday. Kelsey went crazy. They're like, let Kelsey do his thing. But, if Tyreek don't pop off, they just signed Josh Gordon. They need help at wide receiver, bro.
It's like, I said it during the preview with Allen. I said Allen could be the number 2 on the Chiefs and catch 80 balls. It's like you'd think they'd maybe draft someone. They should have drafted with the Edwards-Helaire pick. They should have drafted a wide receiver.
Which is unfortunate because dude actually had a good game yesterday. Had over 100. But I get what you're saying. Yo, are you worried about the Chiefs?
Nah, they could be 3-0. I said this to you via text. They could very well be 3-0. Would you agree or disagree?
No, yeah, you're right.
One bounce here, one bounce there.
But isn't that a lot of teams, bro? Like, I felt the same way about Minnesota. Right?
Another team I was a little bit higher on than others were.
Yeah.
Well, early, though, of course.
I feel like a lot of teams, you can make the case, should have had better records. But listen, monster game next Monday. We should go off for that game, bro.
Be down.
Raiders, Chargers. This is where I need Herbert to come out. 5 touchdowns, prime
time.
Because then you know what Tuesday is going to be, right? Is Justin Herbert the MVP of the league?
Yeah.
And you know I'm going to just be over there like.
You need those big wins.
I'm going to be hitting that Randy Orton pose just like.
You know, they could be 3-0. They can also be 0-3.
Who's this?
The Chiefs, in a way.
Yeah.
So now Andy Reid's in the hospital. Prayers up. Supposedly everything's all good.
It was more precaution than it was anything else.
Yeah, but that's gonna be everyone and their mother are hammering the Chiefs next week against the Eagles. Oh, are they gonna lose 3? I wonder when the last time Andy Reid was. I wonder where Andy Reid's record is off of 2 straight losses. Because I was curious to know what he was off of a loss, and they just lost again.
Yeah, back to back.
So
first time below 500, you said, right?
Since 2015.
First time ever with Mahomes as a starter. Saints, Pats.
I feel bad for Mac because a couple of those picks weren't his fault. You look at the box. If you didn't watch the game and if you really didn't know what was going on, you'd be like, oh, Mac had a bad game. And I'm not saying he had a great game, but one of the picks went off of his receiver's hand and another one was like a tip as well. So it's like, you know.
Look, I slander PFF a lot.
Yeah.
They do a good job with quarterbacks where, like, they give grades on QBs based off that was a dime to the wide receiver, it just ricocheted off his helmet and it got picked. Yeah, on the box score, it looks like a pick. I like when PFF does that. Yeah. And also, I like their offensive lineman grades. Because I'm not really watching O-line like that. But there are some things that they say and do that I'm not a fan of. But sort of to touch on your point about Mac Jones, where, yeah, the box score looked bad. I mean, the one pick that got housed by Jenkins was, it got deflected.
Yeah. What are you going to do? And that was the one I'm talking about off the guy's hands.
Right.
It's like, but I'll tell you this. He threw the ball 51 times yesterday. That's
you can't have that, yeah. You can't have your rookie throw that many times. Unless you wanted to get killed like Joe Burrow did last year.
Everyone predicted a Saints regression in 2021. The defense, though, bro, has been, I think, look, it has its ups and downs, but I definitely think it's been producing, and it's been the backbone of the 2-1 start. Like there's no other way to say it. They do a great job week 1 against the Packers, right?
Yep.
And then you have a great game here as well. Good secondary, good linebacker. Taysom Hill getting involved as well. I don't know.
Yo, Jameis Winston. Do you know how many passing yards he has?
No.
What would you guess? Sonny, he's played all 3 games. Like, what would you guess how many passing yards he has?
600.
No.
That's 200 a game.
Bro, 387. They might win 10 games and I'll have like 1,400 yards.
Did you see the video of Demario Davis giving the pregame speech?
Oh, yeah.
Jameis is the best.
Yo.
He goes, I got him. He's just doing like he's doing like a pregame hype. And Demario Davis is like, you have to watch the video. You'll have to tweet it out.
Yeah, there was one where he was talking about his trainer. He's like, yo, my trainer in the offseason, he said, what did he say again? Yeah, but he said something.
Let's just be prepared. He goes, we're prepared. All off season, my trainer said, what did my trainer say? I forgot what he said, but we're prepared. He's great. And I think it's authentic. Like, I don't think he's acting.
Nah,
I just think he's kind of like a little ditzy.
And he's having fun.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, I'm a starting QB again. Yo, what's up?
I mean, dude, 2 picks, no interceptions, didn't give the game. You know what I mean? Like, I'll say this. 2 touchdowns, yeah. I'll say this, though. The one touchdown he threw should have been picked. I'm not sure if you saw it.
Oh, with the guy bro, he made the same throw against the Panthers. Like, literally the same one where he spun off and they threw it into triple coverage.
No one congratulated him after that touchdown.
Nah, like, yo, bro, hey, man, we got lucky with that. Don't do that shit again.
Yeah, that's exactly what Sean Payton said.
For sure.
But I think, they're playing New Orleans Saints, a smash mouth offensive line. They're running the ball, getting a lot from a lot of guys. And 6 carries, 32 yards, a touchdown, 5 yards per carry for Taysom Hill. The defense is just, I'm really impressed with the defense. They've been carrying them to that 2-1 start.